All right, we here. Got my hoodie on. You know what? Let me take the hoodie off and throw the hat on. Yeah, type shit. All right, so wasn't going to stream tonight, but I wanted to watch this video. I haven't seen the video fully yet. I've only seen probably like 1% of the video. It's apparently a debate that broke out during an interview with Dr. Umar and these gentlemen who I don't know yet. Let me just make sure my stream is all set real quick. Yeah, we straight. I always gotta monitor my stream because sometimes it be acting wacky. You know how stream goes. But yeah, like I said, I haven't seen too much of this debate / interview / whatever podcast. So I figured, hey, since I'm gonna watch it anyway, might as well watch it on stream and share my thoughts as it goes on. Cause what's good, 7? Word. So here we go. We're gonna listen to it right now.
Hello and welcome to Hustle Over Everything. I'm Alex, and today is part 2 of our episode with Dr. Umar. And if you haven't seen the first one, go do that and come back.
I haven't seen the first one, and I'll probably watch it after this on my own.
Now, this episode is by far our most heated, our most fiery episode to date. So you're going to be in for a treat. Make sure you watch to the end because it gets better towards the end. All right, let's get into the episode. So I have a few questions. So I'm a part of a black group in Toronto.
A black
men's group.
Okay.
Toronto.
Okay.
So I'm asking for some questions from that group, and then Miles, I'm gonna give you a stage for a little bit. You got some questions, Dr. Umar.
Yeah,
Then,
I have one more question, and Dr. Umar does have to go quick
Exactly.
so fire those off quickly.
There's an hour left, so if he got to go, he probably made an exception to talk his shit.
What time is it?
Yeah, it's
1 o'clock.
It's 1:05, so you gotta
We
go.
got an hour. We good till 2.
Okay.
Two?
Okay.
Solid. Amazing. All right, cool. So what message
All right, cool.
do you have for black men in Toronto from a U.S. lens?
I'm gonna go from a Pan-Africanist lens. It doesn't have to be a U.S. lens. Black men everywhere, I would probably give the same assessment because wherever I go, I see the same handful of problems. Africa, Caribbean, Central South America, Toronto, Asia, Europe, same thing. Single mother-led homes, mass incarceration of black men with chronic employment, white Jesus, fatherless black boys. So what do black men need to do? Number one, we need to organize. We need to organize and take back our streets. And in order to take back our streets, we got to take back our boys. We're not doing enough with the young men. There's too many young men who don't have a father figure in their life.
That's a fact.
And one of my gripes with the black
And
church,
not only this, I'm gonna cut him off and talk through this shit, obviously. But not only this, I've talked about this a lot in like real life. Another thing, in addition to not having a black dad around, is the black dads that are around aren't necessarily equipped to handle a lot of the shit that goes on because they didn't have a black father. So you kind of raise your kids how you were raised sometimes. So it's always like a domino effect when it comes down to this shit. Should I drink oil or bleach? Bleach for sure.
they're not doing enough for the mentorship of the fatherless boys. Every time I talk to a pastor about working with the fatherless boys, you know the first question they want to bring up? Is there any funding for that? Why the hell you need money to spend time with our fatherless young men? Stop looking for a hustle and put in the struggle. But anyhow, organize, take back the boys, organize and build each other up economically as men. One of our biggest problems as black men, we fight too much with each other, too much competition, too much ego, too much trying to outdo. The 5 of us should not be competing with each other. The 5 of us should be collaborating with each other to build and invest together. Black men need each other because, let's just be honest, we are the #1 threat to the global white power structure. Not Al-Qaeda, right? Not Russia, not the Taliban. Black men have always been the threat, always been the threat. So if we can just come together, stop fighting each other and fight together with each other against our true enemies, we would be unstoppable. The African people are waiting for black men to collaborate. We got to get there.
Next question. What is the status of the school?
Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey. What is the status of the school? Well, tomorrow morning I got to meet with a door contractor. I want to get some new doors. The doors we got are good.
Yeah, this school got to happen soon.
And
this
since
has been
the
in the
school
works
is 15
forever.
years old, physically, the school is 15 years old. We've had it for 5 of those 15. I want to give it a fresh look. So I want fresh doors. We got another paint job, another layer of paint. We got some floors to cover up. Once we cover up the floors, put that other layer of paint, it's time for inspection. We at the finish line. So I hope to be applying for the inspection before summer ends. And some might say, why not next week? Something always comes up.
Don't spread
every
BS.
time you at the finish line. Something
Facts.
always comes.
I don't know what you said yet.
Fix this, you know. But we right there, you know. So my thing is, let's get the building permitted before the end of the summer so we can have a grand opening probably for Kwanzaa. But we're going to start educating the children next summer, though. We need time to get ready. We can't do it that fast. But we right there. We dancing around the finish line. And, you know, people always ask me, so what's going to be the date? I can't give a date. I done had like 6 dates, and I violate every date. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because one thing this has taught me, when you institution building, don't give out no dates till the institution done. The biggest mistake I made was I thought I could predict. Nah. Wait till you completely done and then give out a date. But we right there at the finish line. Floors and doors, and floors, walls, and doors, and we done.
Go get
Before
that
you
ink.
move on from the school, quickly, what's going to be your role? Because I know that you're
It's
all over the
funny.
world. You're speaking
Yo,
to
that wasn't planned for me to like. This isn't for that. To be honest, it's just a hat.
many people.
I'm going to be the principal.
Okay, so you're actually
But it
I
fits,
won't be
though.
able to travel as much. Yeah, I'm physically
Got
there.
you, got
because
you.
you got to remember, we're going to be tuition based.
Yeah.
You know, and so when people send their children to the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, they're assuming that they're going to get to experience Dr. Umar in the flesh.
Yeah.
So if I'm not there, number one, that's dangerous because I'm not sure my teachers are teaching. You follow me?
Yep.
And
What's
number
good,
two,
Leak?
they don't really get the E5
Leaky?
2-day experience, right? So I'm going to be the principal, and I'm also going to be the history teacher.
And is that going to be your plan for like a long time, or are you going to kind of?
It's so funny because I feel like he gets a lot of hate, and I feel like one of the things that people often say when they say like, "What do you want to do when you get successful?" Like, what do you like when you have a lot of money? What's like a thing you plan on doing? At least like conversations that I've had, and even myself, building a school in your neighborhood is like one of those things that people always say they want to do. I don't think people realize how difficult that shit is, especially to be like a black specific school. I do want to see him do it though, finally.
As schools come,
Yeah.
as we get more schools,
But it's not as easy
I'm
as
gonna have to
just,
fall back,
I'm
and
gonna
be
open
more
up
of
a school.
superintendent.
Got you.
Than the principal. You follow? But I still plan to be the history teacher, even if I have to do so virtually.
How about psychology? Would you be involved in that as well? Because I know.
Well, I probably will be the school psychologist as
Yeah.
well. Although we will not have a bona fide special ed program. We will have programs for disabled children, but special ed is federal, which means that's public dollars. We don't take public dollars. So we will not have a public special ed program.
Got you. Thank you. Okay.
What's your views on religion in school?
Well, we will have one of our bona fide curriculums will be African spirituality. You don't have to practice it, but you must study it. So if you say, I want my son to go to FDMG, but he cannot learn about the ancestors, he cannot learn about the way African people worship God, he can't come to the school. No child is exempt from any aspect of the curriculum. And the reason I'm bringing this up is good. I'm glad you asked the question.
Need
I've
more
had
religion.
supporters who intend.
So I understand like a black school teaching black religion, but I feel like globally that should be away from schools.
to send their
But black spirituality is like different than like organized Western religion.
children to the school, but they want to exempt them from the African spirituality curriculum. Can't happen. They don't have to practice. They don't have to pour libation, but they must know why we do it. You follow me?
Yeah.
They have to get the instruction, but they don't have to participate in the practice. I had one father, he's a big supporter. He said, Dr. Umar, I'm a Christian. I cannot allow my son to learn anything about African spirituality. I said, well, he won't be able to come to the school.
That could be one
I
of
said,
them.
it's a shame.
One of the
And
things.
you need to check your hypocrisy. He said, what do you mean? I said, your son go to a public school, right? He said, yeah. They're being taught to worship white people. They're being taught about homosexuality and transgenderism.
Yeah.
They're being taught that African people can achieve nothing in the world. They're being special educated, medicated, mistreated. You was okay with all that. Look, you was okay with all that. But you're not okay with them learning about.
I mean, obviously, I don't know all the answers because I'm not in this school and I'm not working with him. But I'm assuming like religion and spirituality and views that stem from African culture are pretty much erased from like everywhere in American schools. You will never hear about it. So like to open up an African school to teach those things, like I guess it's worth knowing. If nothing
About how
else, it's
their
worth
ancestors
knowing.
worship God, a system you know nothing about.
Yeah.
He had to pause and step back.
Yeah.
He probably still not going to send him to the school, but I just want him to see the hypocrisy of a black man telling a black man.
I feel like it would further their education, you know? Like, you're not just educated through academics. You're educated through life, through interacting with people, through just knowing different things. Like, if I were right now to study Christianity, that's me learning something, you know? I don't know.
Your son can't come to my school because you don't want them to learn about African spirituality when he goes to a school where he's taught everything about demonology.
So would you be okay with sending
Demonology.
your child to a school, and hypothetically, in that same situation where, let's say, like you really want to send your child to this school, but they teach whatever it is, the homosexuality, whatever it is. Are you okay with that, or would you actually want that your child to be exempt from learning those things?
Well, are we comparing homosexuality with African spirituality?
No. I don't want to compare it. I'm just using that because that's the example that you brought up. But
Right.
you take away that stuff. Let's say it was a Christian
Okay.
school that you really wanted to send your
Okay.
child to, but you wanted them exempt. Like, would you be okay with them being like, you're
Is it
not?
a Pan-Africanist Christian academy? Because if it is a Pan-Africanist Christian academy, I know God gonna look like my children. So although I may not necessarily agree with some of the religious beliefs, I can tolerate it because at least I know they won't be.
Are you asking me or
Gotcha.
him? Because I clearly can't answer
What's the
which
difference between African spirituality
spirituality he's teaching.
Okay, voodoo
No, it's a black school. They will not
is
learn
one
about
form
religion, so
of
no
African
influence.
spirituality.
Oh.
Just like you have many different branches of Christianity, you have many.
All right, so what's the difference between that and like going to any public school in America and like learning history through the lens of the textbooks? You know, like it's pretty much just one-sided. Like whatever they teach is kind of like what it is, and they don't very often, at least when I was going to school, they don't very often look at different aspects of how, let's say wars, for example. Like we know in war there's at least two sides to each war, and growing up in American schools, you're pretty much just taught one side of the war, so to speak, just as an example. So what's the difference between that and what he's saying? Like, yeah, it is only learning one religion, one influence, which religion isn't really taught in schools anyway. I guess like a Catholic school, maybe that's different. But like public schools, they don't teach religion. But they do teach certain history. Your voice, what? They do teach certain aspects of history that's only from like one side of how that lens is. You know what I mean?
Many different branches
Catholic,
of African
Pentecostal,
spirituality. Absolutely.
It's a denomination.
For lack of a
You
better
could
term?
call it
Shit,
a
my head
denomination
came out.
for lack of a better term, right? Under the umbrella of African spirituality. So many of our ancestors who
I have not read
came
that.
to Haiti, if you would, they came from the region of Benin, Togo, Angola, some of those African countries. And well, all of us, no matter where we came from countries where African spirituality was practiced. Voodoo is that form of African spirituality that came with us to the islands. When we got
Thanks,
to the
I guess.
islands, the slave master didn't allow us to use African spirituality, especially after the Haitian Revolution, right? Because the Haitian Revolution was founded on African spirituality, right? The voodoo system. So I practice Ifa out of Nigeria, which is Yoruba culture. Ifa is a cousin to voodoo. Very similar, but there are some differences. So
I'll
the
look it up
deities
on the
are
side
very
right
similar.
now and
Ogun,
get back
I am
to
a
it.
son of Ogun. So in African culture, everybody in here is born under the protection of a guardian spirit. You're ruling Orisha, right? Mine is Ogun, the divinity of war, iron, power, and justice. That is the Orisha that was evoked at Bois Kwa Iman in Haiti that gave birth to the Haitian Revolution. In Haiti, they'll call it
brother.
Ogun, you see. Because we had to hide our African spirituality, we had to tuck it into the Roman Catholicism and Christianity of the slave master. So we would assign every Orisha, or in the case of voodoo, it would be Loa. We would assign one of these divinities to a Christian saint, right? So Mama Yemonja, who is the feminine principle that gives birth to all life. This is the energy that God created to bring forth life. She would be syncretized with Mother Mary, So when the white man walks into the church, it looks like you're honoring Mother Mary, but that's really Queen Mother Yemoja. You see, Ogu might be syncretized with St. Peter. It looks like you're paying homage to St. Peter,
You
but
just said
it's really
syncretized.
Ogu. So we had to hybridize the system to hide it from the slave master.
Kind of like Constantine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so I believe, voodoo has gotten a really bad name through Hollywood, through miseducation. After the Haitian Revolution, the white man went out of his way to destroy the respect and the love and the adoration that African people had towards traditional African spirituality. And that's why when people hear the word voodoo, they think of zombies and raising dead people and putting hexes on people. It's not about that. Now, I'm Ifa, which is separate. Ifa is Nigeria. It's called Fa in Benin. Voodoo in Benin.
What?
In fact, Benin is the voodoo capital. When I visited Benin, we actually went to the hometown of Toussaint L'Ouverture because he was from Benin. So a lot of your Haitians come from Benin, Angola, Togo, right in that area, Nigeria. Same thing with Haiti, Jamaica, same kind of thing. In Puerto Rico, it became Santeria.
Chat
Palo,
going crazy, bro.
Lucumi,
I don't know what they
Voodoo,
talking about.
Ifa, Fa. These are all different names. Candomblé. These are all different names for different denominations of almost a singular African faith in that they have way more.
Yeah, and
in
even I
common
feel like even
than
if you
they
don't
have
believe in spirituality, just like knowing how much of America, which is where the school's going to be, how much of America is run through religion. Like religion determines a lot in this country. It determines how people vote. A lot of religious views sway people's votes. Some laws are determined by how people originally viewed. How people's views were originally because of religion determines some laws. It's like a lot of things in this country. Even racism. A lot of things stem from religion. So to learn, if you're black, to learn where your original people come from and what they believed and shit like that, I feel like, even if you don't have to literally believe in it and worship the same way or worship at all, I feel like it's worth knowing at least.
It's not in common.
And this is where you get Ifa Tunde in your name.
Right.
Ogun.
Absolutely. I got Ifa Tunde, Ogun Tade. This is a village. I might want to visit it if you get a chance. South Carolina. You fly into Savannah or Charleston. It's in it's in Sheldon, South Carolina, the Oyotunji African Village, oyotunji.org, OYOTUNJI. I went there November 11th for 2019. Had my first divination in Chief of Lifetime.
Well, I want to see how this plays out.
And he named me in communication with the divinity. So when God created the universe, there was one spirit that God allowed to witness all of creation. Only one spirit. That divinity is called Ifa or Orun Mila. Orun means heaven. Mila means messenger. Orun Mila is the messenger of God. He would be the voice, the energy, not a man. And this is how African spirituality differs from the religions, because the religions follow a heroic human agency. Abraham came, Moses came, Joshua came, Jesus came, Noah came, Muhammad came. African spirituality, we're not required to believe in the divinity of any human being. It's all spirit. So Orunmila is a spirit that we've never seen. And it is through Orunmila. Orunmila brought the wisdom to man of the universe. Ifa is the universal system that controls everything in existence. So the name of God in Yoruba is Olodumare. Olodumare literally means the owner of the source of all creation. What is the source? Ifa. There are 16 feminine energies that God used to create everything in the world. 16 times 16 is 256. So there's 256 energy patterns that created everything on earth. You, me, the lights, good, evil, light, darkness, the fish, the water, the elephants, the plants.
None of what he's talking about right now.
Everything
to
was
be
birthed
honest.
from these 16 Odus or energy powers, forces, right? And then they multiply because they interact with each other. That's how you get the 256 energy patterns. Every one of us is born under a energy pattern that guides your destiny on this earth. And the reason the system is called Ifa, because Ifa means destiny. Before you incarnated, before you came to the womb of your mother, you was in heaven. You sat at the feet of God and you chose a purpose for being here. When you were born, you lost the knowledge of why you came. And the reason we communicate with Orunmila Because remember, Orumila witnessed creation. Orumila knows the end of everything. Orumila know when I'm going to die, when he going to die, how many kids you going to have, if you're going to live in Canada for the rest of your life, how long it's going to take for African people to reclaim Africa, how long the sun going to be in the sky, how long the planets are going to exist. Orumila knows everything because God gave him the wisdom to know the ends. So when you get a spiritual reading of divination, it is the spirit of Orumila that opens up your future because Orumila already knows what's going to happen. God gave him that blessing. And Orumila communicates to the priest or priestess to say, okay, he's about to walk into a very good situation in the next 5 years, but he needs to do some things to make sure he gets his blessing and it doesn't pass you by. Because even though God has something in store for you, you can miss it if you are not living correctly. Thanks. There might be something bad in store for you, but guess what? Through certain sacrifices, you can actually avoid that. So with African spirituality, we differ from the world religions in 3 main areas. Number 1, we can do something about our future. Besides just praying about
How many views
There's
does this
spiritual
get?
remedies,
136K.
mathematically precise spiritual remedies to deal with certain things. We don't just have to pray. We pray, but we can also manipulate the forces of the universe to bring about a desired end in a way that is supported by Almighty God, right? So that's 1, divination. Number 2, the balance of masculine and feminine. Christianity, Islam, Judaism, God is always masculine. All power is in the hands of masculinity, not an African culture. God is the owner of the masculine and the feminine. So we can call on God the mother as much as we will call on God the father. So African spirituality still has the balance of male and female. And we would argue one of the reasons why there hasn't been more good done through religion is religion has deprived us of the feminine principle. Yep. And a third reason, a third difference, and there's many, but a third one is ancestral veneration. In Christianity and Islam, there's no space for ancestors, even though you're calling on all these people from the Bible. In our culture, our ancestors play a guiding role and they can play a decisive role in our life and whether we fulfill our destiny. So being black matters, being African matters, being from my family matters. And we call on our undead because nobody dies. Our undead, we call on them to help us because in African culture, guess what? Our ancestors are our angels. They're the ones with the wings on their back. They're the ones looking over our shoulder. They're the ones who intercede to God on our behalf.
Is that where Black Panther took that from?
Absolutely.
Got you.
Absolutely.
Got you.
Absolutely.
So next question from Michael G.
Interesting.
Brother Umar, you have eloquently articulated the generational problems. Do you have any active and effective solutions in place or pending that could have generational impact?
Well, number 1, education. The schools, obviously. From a psychological perspective, until we have a psychological revolution, we won't have any other kind. Until you change the way black people think, you change nothing about us. Our problems, we have the money. We got all the educated people. You understand? We got the intelligence. We got the number. We got what we need. The only resource we're missing is the psychological resource. Black people are not committed. Black people don't believe in themselves. White power has convinced us we can't beat it. You see that? White power has convinced us we can't beat it. And this is a big reason why, a lot of black men are dating white women. Let's get to the snow buddy. Because the white woman, stay with me, the white woman is the black man's surrender flag. When I walk into a party with my white wife, when I go on vacation with my white wife, when I go into a job interview with my white wife, when I go to a business dinner with my wife.
You're not bringing your white wife to an interview, first of all. You're not going to get that fucking job if you bring your wife to the interview.
White wife. I'm communicating to the white man that as much as I can be, I am one of you and I am on your side because look at who I'm sleeping with. The white woman is a symbol of the black man's masculine surrender.
You think so?
Said that too early.
But organization.
Yeah.
You can't solve any problem without being organized. Until we organize, we don't solve any problem. So when he said, what's the next step? Organize. In other words, where's the study group at in Toronto? How often are black men coming together to study and to also discuss our issues and plot a course forward? Where is the black bank in Toronto? Or can we start a credit union? Or could we start a susu where every black man in this cipher is going to put $100 in a month, and once we get $100,000, we're going to buy a building so we got a place where we can organize our people.
And that's what the fuck niggas need to do more, bro. Bro, oh my god, bro. It's so hard trying to tell my friends this shit. And I feel like a lot of people, maybe this will apply to someone who's watching. a lot of people have creative aspirations. Just let's speak about something simple. Creative aspirations, and they have a bunch of friends and no funding. That makes no sense to me, bro. If your friends are only around when it's time to chill, they're not really good friends, bro. If you can't invest in your friend group, there should be no reason why someone has like 20 plus, 40 plus friends and is struggling to get their ideas out there, bro. Like, life would be so much better for us if we put our dollar together and like build something, like actually build some shit. But no one does that. And whenever you bring that shit up, it's always like 100 excuses of why we can't pitch in and help and like build some shit. But you know,
take care of our young folks. Institutions are 50% of the solutions. Institutions, school, bank, hospital, supermarket, manufacturing.
I don't know if that's what he's saying.
If we ain't talking institutions, we're not serious about solutions.
You could
and the
expound
reason
if you
why
would
we
like.
can't change our people's behavior is in order to change behavior, you got to have control over the institutions that they need, right? If I want to work for the white man, he's going to tell me how to dress, he's going to tell me how to look, he's going to tell me how to talk. And I'm going to do it because I want that job, or I want that free food, or I want that housing. You can only control people's behavior when you got something they need. We don't do anything for our people. Why the hell would they listen to you? Until you can provide them with what they need, you'll never get their attention.
So I have a quick question. Actually, it's two questions.
Hold up, introduce yourself to the audience.
Oh, my name is Iman. I'm the owner of Activated Studios, Competent Construction, Activated Estate, Activated Trucking. I do multiple things.
Powerful, powerful.
Peace and Pan-Africanism.
Yes, sir.
But I would say, when you're trying to organize your family, like the men in the family, the women in the family, so many different ways of thinking, how do somebody go about that? Because it's very hard to get to the meat of the situation because, like you said earlier, it's a lot of bickering, different situations at hand that's irrelevant, really.
I ran out of
we
my
just
drink.
can't get past that to create something economically so we can just grow as a family to, obtain power. Let's say political power
Yes, sir.
or anything like that. So that's one. And the next question is, what would you say to somebody who in a hood, the neighborhood, right? Where they think no one is bigger than a hood and, you have to be of the hood because you're from the hood.
Right.
So
That first question with the family, that's a good question, and it's tough because family is the source of everybody's trauma.
right.
Any issue we have, addiction, smoking, suicide, low self-esteem, it started in that family. It's going to be difficult to organize your family without first addressing those traumas.
Right.
If you got unacknowledged sex abuse in that family, you got unacknowledged emotional abuse, you got unacknowledged adultery, you got unacknowledged betrayal.
Yo, unacknowledged sexual abuse, bro. I could talk a lot about this, but what I will say is that's facts, bro. A lot of people have things within their family that they'll judge other people for, but they'll never take that look into what's going on within the corners of their family and what they have going on. And it'll be there. It'd be bright as fucking day, bro. But people just let shit slide because it's like, oh, that's my uncle, that's my aunt, that's my whatever, that's my dad. But that's where a lot of shit stems from, is like not having those tough conversations and letting shit slide.
Unacknowledged theft, unacknowledged sabotage. Ain't nobody organized. There's going to be a fight popping off every 5 minutes, an argument, right?
Right.
Same thing with the larger community. Same thing, right? We just going to the microcosm. So for me, if I'm trying to organize my family, I'm only going to go to 4 or 5
Inherited trauma
people
is facts.
who I know I can trust. And we're going to get organized first, come up with the blueprint, and then the relatives that they're most closest with, they're going to pull in one by one. The worst thing you can do with your family, the worst thing we can do with black people is invite everybody to the table at the same time. That's a recipe for disaster. Get the ones who want to win and get the ones who ain't necessarily concerned later.
Right.
Problem we make in black America with our families and with our communities, we assume everybody has the same level of commitment to our struggle. And we know that ain't the truth.
At
Why are
all.
you starting with people who got little concern? Get the ones who got big concern. I'd rather have 3 people who I know are ride or die and 3,000 who I know I can't trust.
That's a fact.
But your second question, which is another good question, which I think is something that we ain't dealt with enough, and that is this tendency for black people, black men in particular, to elevate their loyalty to the hood above their loyalty to black folks. You see this in the hip hop community, where you see hip hop artists basically saying without saying it, because they don't want to go too far, I'm loyal to hip hop. I ain't loyal to black people. You almost feel it.
That's actually a fact.
Like, yeah, we might kill and talk about shooting and sex in the women, but that's what hip hop is. Okay, but it's negatively impacting the community. And they almost want to say, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
So my thing is this. If the black community cannot rehabilitate and re-anchor hip-hop culture back into the community that birthed it, we're going to have to destroy it.
And it's funny you say that because right here at the studio, Activated Studios, I have those same conversations with different artists. And like I said, a lot of them come from New York, just all over, and come here to make their music. And I say, well, you say this, but it affect. They be like, man, I don't give a. They tell me it's off camera.
It's almost like, you know what it's almost like?
That's a fact.
You know how we got the black bourgeoisie? They consider themselves above. They don't have to answer to nobody else. They don't care how what they do affects the rest of us. The hip hop community is almost a black bourgeoisie of its own.
Right.
We don't see it
as
a
fact.
Because they act like they from the hood. But think about it. They're not from the hood no more. They don't live there.
True.
You understand?
Right,
they don't party there.
And you know what's crazy? And you know what's
money there.
You know what's crazy too about that shit? Facts. It's because of the love and the money, 100%. But furthermore, right? A lot of rappers, and I might be guilty of this myself because I rap, but a lot of rappers, they'll say and do a lot of negative shit. Cold Winter Urban Legend. They'll say and do a lot of negative shit that affects the youth mostly. But they don't do that shit themselves. So for example, like, if someone's like, no snitching, in their music, and they teaching these kids, no snitching, live and die by the code of the streets, flip that work, sell out work. These niggas is living in penthouses in Beverly Hills, while the niggas in the hood, the young kids in the hood will listen to that shit and emulate it. So not only are you teaching them to do some shit, but you're teaching them to do some shit that you don't even fucking do. You know what I mean? And it's like, bro, you don't even do this shit. All these drugs you claim you do, all this shit is like shit you don't do. But these young kids follow behind you when they actually do, and they actually tear down their communities, bro. Look at Chicago. Chicago looks crazy, bro. The death numbers in Chicago and the Bronx, and bro, it's crazy. But it's the bread, bro. They know that shit sells. And when you think about why certain artists are really big, it's because the people that are in control of the streaming platforms, the record labels, how music gets distributed widely, are people who don't look like us. It's so fucked up, bro.
Right.
So if you look at it, the hip hop community is really the new bourgeoisie.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Think about it. They live in white neighborhoods. They all of them send their kids to white schools.
Right.
They only act like they still from the hood to stay relevant to sell their music. Outside of that, they live in white lives.
Kind of like Travis Scott.
They live in white lives.
He's not lying.
That's a great point.
You still selling death and destruction to my kids, while your kids going to $30,000 a year privileged white schools.
That's a fucking fact.
That's what you call a traitor.
Oh,
the hip hop community has betrayed Black America. So why does it still exist? Because of the money. Black people worship money and materialism. And since the hip hop artists can provide it, hip hop ain't gonna go nowhere. We claim to be Christian. No, we not. We are idol worshipers. And the idol is money and merchandise. Most black Christians are not Christians. Most black Muslims are not Muslims. Most black Hebrews, Seventh-day Adventists, evangelists, Episcopalians, most African spiritualists, no, they not. They are idol worshipers. Look at how they live. I don't care what they profess. Look at how we live.
Yeah.
Are we really worshiping God?
Yeah.
Or are we worshiping money?
Yeah. And another thing to kind of, I hate using the word piggyback, but to extend his thought to my thought. A big part of why we're conditioned to like accept the way, let's say like hip hop promotes certain things. The reason why we adapt to that so much is because growing up in a lot of these, impoverished communities, especially black ones, we don't see success all around us. We live in communities where a lot of our friends' pops isn't raising them in the house. A lot of them are raised by single moms. A lot of them are raised by parents who struggle working 9 to 5s their whole life. A lot of them, they don't see, their friends or their friends' parents with the flashiest cars or like nice clothes or like having money. A lot of these people in these neighborhoods are living check to check. So when they see success, they see it, through people that look like them. They see it on TV. They see it through sports. They see it through music. They see it through movies. And with the music is so like addictive, They see, such and such is a trap nigga making all this money rapping. What's good, Dano? Making all this money rapping. That's success to me. And you don't live around doctors and lawyers and businessmen and owners and shit like that. When you see it, it's a melting pot. Facts. When you finally see success, it's people who look like you but are doing negative shit. Thank you, I appreciate it. Dano. This hat is mad old too, but y'all pretty much get the point I'm trying to prove.
Dr. Umar, I got a challenge. I got a challenge.
Introduce yourself to the audience one more time.
This is Mouse Jones. I'm back. I just want to challenge some or just get a bit clarity for my own. When you say that hip hop isn't of the hood anymore, or hip hop has become this thing, are we talking about the culture of hip hop, or are we talking about the industry of hip hop?
I'm talking about both, and I'm gonna tell you
I'm more so talking about the industry of hip hop.
why.
Yeah.
I don't like when we have conversations about the degenerative side of hip hop, and members of the hip hop community, which we all are, will try to scapegoat the degeneracy as gangster rap.
Yeah.
And say that the culture of hip hop is something different.
Right.
That may be true. But you know what the problem is?
What?
If that is true,
Yeah.
why don't those who claim to identify with the progressive side of hip hop do not hold accountable those who engage in the degenerative form of hip hop?
How do you?
I mean, low key, I won't say that doesn't happen, because that does happen. A lot of people do hold those type of artists accountable. Sometimes it's behind closed doors. Sometimes it's in front of the camera. Sometimes it's like denouncing them publicly. But it does. It might not happen as much as it should, but it does happen.
How do you?
In other words,
go ahead.
take the BET Awards. And of course, BET owned by white folks. We understand, right? But guess what? The positive and the negative are on showcase there. There's no delineation made. On all the hip hop platforms, the positive and the negative are on display. There's no delineation there. So if we want to make a delineation between what is hip hop and what is not, we got to do it more than in the conversation with Dr. Umar. Because the question I would ask people is, Jay-Z hip hop?
Yes.
Most people say he is. Well, look at the content of his music. Isn't that degenerate? Is Notorious B.I.G. hip hop? Look at the content of his music.
Okay, so this is why I'm with you. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So we can't call a kettle black on Monday and red on Tuesday. Either it's hip hop or it's not. And before you respond, let me give you an analysis to make it a little bit more clear. Let's take the African American Muslim community.
Yes, sir.
And Christian community, right? There's brothers who go to the masjid for Jumu'ah
Yeah.
on Friday.
That's me.
And
What
the
up?
outside wilding.
And they
Friday,
outside
Saturday.
wilding.
Yeah.
And when you go to the imam and say, that dude right there just took a life the other day, you let him for Friday prayer, you know what he gonna say? Then he's not living Islam. But if he's not living Islam, why the hell he in your masjid? Do you see what I'm saying? You're looking for a way not to have to engage the negative elements because you ain't got the courage to step to them and shut that shit down. And that's what's happening in hip hop. The conscious artists and those who claim that the gangster rap ain't really hip hop, Why you ain't saying that to the gangster rappers? Why you ain't going to the BET Awards and saying no more nominations for negative content? If you disrespecting women, if you promoting violence, if you promoting irresponsibility, guess what? No more nominations for you. If that ain't hip hop, why that ain't been done yet? Show me the accountability.
I think the accountability happens.
Thank you. I'm trying my best
on multiple levels, but I don't think hip hop holds itself accountable.
Thank you.
I agree with
Thank
that.
you.
I
That's
agree with
where
that
I'm at.
1000%.
Yes, sir.
I have a video where I discuss hip hop being in desperate need of a Me Too movement.
Yes.
I talk about this.
Yes.
You know, we've come across each other and
Yes, sir.
stuff.
Yes, sir.
You know, through Unc, through Charlotte.
Yes,
but
sir.
yeah, I'm always saying that. I think my problem is that when we sit as black people or members of black people as members of the hip hop community, we can't allow outsiders. We can't allow people, and sometimes it's black people that are outsiders too.
Okay.
Not every black person is a participant or lives the hip hop culture. You may be a black person, but the hip hop culture you may not subscribe to,
Okay.
right? So just because you're black, I don't look at you for that, right? I need to know that you partake in the hip hop culture, that you subscribe to the hip hop culture, to have such not talking about you.
I got
and
you.
I'm
I got
saying
you.
when we're looking at that, basically. So to say that, I say the degeneracy, saying that is a part of hip hop. I don't know if it is. I know it's a crime. I know that it is a byproduct of. Most times, it's a byproduct of poor, of being poor and growing up in poor, underprivileged communities. Like you said, you're a political scientist. I know you've seen it. All the studies show that it's not a black crime problem. That crime is is when opportunity meets underserved communities. That's why when they talk about crime in black neighborhoods, why? Because that's where the most poor people are. Right, crime happens where there are poor people, where there are not opportunities, where opportunities are far and few between. Right, so
That's not rain.
is it? Yeah, that is.
Go ahead, bro.
Oh yeah. So that's what I would say. I don't know that the degeneracy is a part of
got
hip
a lot
hop
to
as
say
much
about
as it
this,
is
too.
a crime. But I wouldn't hold anybody in hip hop so accountable for talking about a life they lived or a life they grew up witnessing more than I would hold a journalist responsible for covering what's going on in Palestine or what's going on.
All right,
in
so
war-torn
I kind of agree with what he's saying, right? Like, people do grow up this way. This is a good combo, facts. People do grow up this way, and they speak about these things through their art. I think, for me, on the outside looking in, I feel like a lot of people continue to be this way when they're no longer in that life. But I think the larger problem is how music is marketed. How hip-hop is marketed, I'll say. Hip-hop is marketed in such a way where only a certain type of sound is, like, pushed. Let's say pushed, right? You don't see more conscious rappers. It's really all we got is, like, Kendrick and Cole, to be honest. And they're not even, like, conscious like that. Like, Kendrick and Cole both have their times where they like speak about ignorant shit. They're just very artistic and they rap really well. But the majority of charting artists are negative shit, bro. Fucking Sexy Red. I love Future, bro, but if we're being objective, you gotta throw Future in there. Like it's a lot of negative shit, you feel me? We don't have a lot of that. And that's by design, I feel like. I feel like certain artists are pushed because they want certain sounds, certain subject matters to be more popular than not. Bro, kids listening to Sexy Red is crazy. But, yeah, like I said, that's by design, I feel like. I feel like that's what they want it to be. Because back in the day when hip-hop was, like, on the rise, you always had that negative shit. You always had rappers rapping about gangster shit and killing niggas and drug dealing and shit like that, but it was more of a balance than it is now. Now it's just crazy. Now it's like not only are they signing people who talk about this shit, but they're signing kids who don't fucking know anything. They're getting these niggas fresh out of high school, fresh out of the hood, who don't know shit, sign these bullshit ass contracts so they could use these people as puppets for their broader plan is to make hip hop a certain way. You feel me? But I'm gonna let them continue their conversation.
You on his grounds. A journalist
It's keeping
is
people in a
trained
bad mindset.
to
Facts.
report
Rap culture. It's crazy.
the news as it occurred without passion or prejudice. Our hip hop artists do not report their experience without passion or prejudice. They report it with both passion and prejudice, and they glamorize and glorify it. To tell me that this is all I can rap about because this is all I've seen.
And it's also, this is all that sells. And also, this is all that fucking sells, bro. A lot of niggas rap about certain shit over certain beats, certain slang, certain everything is because that's what the fuck sells. And that's where they're following. They're following the dollar. Bro, if there was 50 Kendrick Lamars on the Billboard charts and they all were just as amazing of an artist as he is, or if there was 50 fucking Lupe Fiascos charting, niggas would sound like that. But unfortunately, that's not what the market, quote unquote, the market is saying works. So they're rapping like all the other dumb, ignorant shit.
When you living in $1 million mansion and your kids go to a white school, that's a complete hypocrite.
I agree, but I would
understand?
ask who still does that.
Who still does that?
Like perfect example. You brought up
Who are
Jay.
the top 10 hip hop artists currently rapping right now? What is the content of their music
I would challenge that most of them are not rap today. Or are you talking about all time?
right now?
Yeah, I would challenge that all 10 of them are probably not talking about anything hood because that's not the most prevalent music right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Who?
Travis
All right,
Scott.
so we're talking about trap. I got this. You got Travis Scott.
What's
He
his
ain't-
content?
We don't know what he's saying, but he's not talking about hood shit.
He is talking about hood shit though. He's talking about fucking bitches, doing drugs, partying. He's not talking about killing it. I mean, he does have like every now and then he'll have a bar where he'll reference like a gun or some shit like that. But it's not like positive, thought-provoking music. It's like mindless party, turn up, rage music.
He might be at most talking about like illicit drug use, but that's what he does.
But that's part of it.
Kendrick talks about killing niggas. Drake, for whatever reason, talks about killing niggas. Bro, it's all the same shit, bro.
He's the top 10 though.
He said top 10. What gangster rappers are top 10?
And facts. And I don't think top 10 is indicative of how music sounds, bro. Like, the top 10 is one thing, but the top 10 only drop so often. The rest of the 90% of niggas are just as negative.
That's
it's
not what he
overall.
said. He didn't
said-
ask
You gotta
for that
deal-
caveat.
Deal with both.
He said both.
Deal with the top.
And to be clear, sorry I keep pausing the video. And to be clear, and be a young boy, facts. And to be clear, I'm not opposed to this music. Like, I like listening to this shit. And when I rap, I like writing from the perspective of shit I seen. You feel me? I grew up in a poor neighborhood. I've seen my friends sell drugs. I've seen my friends get murdered. I've seen, like, this is shit that I've lived through, bro. So when I rap, I talk about this shit. But I do see how that's different than what's being, like, the way that I make music is different than, like, Sexy Red, Ice Spice, Gunna, fucking Ian. You know what I mean?
Top 10.
And so if there's top 10, that's
First
the
off-
top
first
10.
off,
Those are the people that are
that's the
on.
biggest, yeah.
Those are the
The
biggest
biggest
artists, and those are the people that are selling to
Who?
the mass audience. I would
Travis
say
Scott?
Travis Scott. He ain't rapping about that. Maybe Kendrick, but he has balance. Drake. We all know when he talks that gangster shit, he's cosplaying, but
Yeah, but he talked the gangster shit.
he does.
Drake
He
talks
has
the
he
gangster
has
shit.
some of that.
Who else?
Who would be up there? Then
Future?
Future talked the gangster shit.
Future talks the gangster shit. Who then
21 Savage talks the gangster
I
shit.
wouldn't say he's top 10.
Let's you hear something?
Yeah,
I
Um,
would
He's
consider him top 10.
Right now, he's top 10 for sure.
Okay, boom. He's talking that gangster shit.
J. Cole,
He's not talking that gangster shit at all.
Right, I'll give Jay a pass.
Lil Uzi, no.
I don't think most of the country knows who
No,
Boss Man D-Lo
he's
is.
not there yet.
most of the country doesn't know who Boss Man D-Lo is, but this nigga's getting like millions of streams, bro. Millions of views on his YouTube channel, on his YouTube videos. Like, it's not just charting artists that matter in hip hop. It's all of the shit, bro. Them niggas they have motion. They have fucking motion. They know if you want to listen to my music, there's a video on my channel. It's my last project I put out 3 months ago. It's called Everybody Dies. It's more of like a demo than like a serious album, so it's not like very polished. So I just kind of threw it up there to just be like creative, but it's up there.
It's sexy red. I don't think most.
But you know what? Here's my.
What the hell did Travis Scott say in Type Shit track? Anyone who finds Ice Spice attractive has also takes. I think Ice Spice is attractive. You can find someone attractive and not be attracted to them. That's kind of a weird take. They at least used to have the decency to bleep out the cursing. Kevin Gates, yeah, he kind of falls into that category too. You ever get close to girls and what the fuck? Kevin Gates is the XXX version of a rapper. Okay.
Rebuttal. And
Yes,
this
sir.
is why I disagree. You can't pick and choose what you want to consider and not consider hip hop when it's all done under that umbrella and nothing publicly is being done to differentiate.
I think the umbrella is blackness,
Same thing
not
with the Muslims.
not hip hop.
He in my mosque praying. He on the street killing. But when you come to me and
That's
ask
the
me to hold him
times.
accountable, oh, he's not a good Muslim. But he's in your mosque though. So you saying that ain't really hip hop, but they all at the beat.
Yeah, that's basically a no true Scotsman fallacy. Basically like saying, oh, he's not a real hip hop artist, or he's not a real Christian, he's not a real Muslim, so his actions aren't indicative of the entire group. But it's like, well, what is a real hip hop artist? What is a real Christian? What is a real whatever? You feel me? You can't really fucking define it. But a lot of people in that group are this way, so the criticism is valid.
BET Awards though, they all at the concerts, they all at the
Which
at
is
the big
which is there to
events.
celebrate the work, not
You
the
see
human.
what you're doing? But you see what you're doing?
I'm just talking about I'm talking about the.
That low-key is a good point because they are there to celebrate the work. But the thing with that is, it's often skewed to the taste of whoever is orchestrating the awards. You feel me? How often have people got snubbed because the Academy or whatever the fuck decided to go with this other person? It happens a lot. It's not always just based off the music. Because if it was based off the music, a lot of niggas who are underground would be getting those awards. The best album of the year isn't usually the best album of the year. It's usually the most commercially successful album of the year, which is never really the best.
Talking about the atmosphere.
Yeah, but
the
you're picking and
BET
choosing,
award,
bro.
the-
When is hip hop going to put some structure to the shit?
I agree.
Let me give you an example.
We're in
Let me give you an
agreement.
example.
Yeah.
Just like on the CDs, you know how they used to put parental advisory explicit lyrics?
Yes,
There needs to be
they
a
still do
stamp
that.
that said, right, but there needs to be a stamp that says this
What
is
are y'all
not
talking
hip-hop.
about?
You see what I'm saying? And let me tell you why hip hop doesn't hold gangster rap accountable. Because they the ones making the damn money. And nobody want to get cut out of being particularly included in on that. Why nobody rebuked the NWA? Because look what they were selling. Nobody never stepped to Big or Jay or any of the artists who was into the gangster shit. Because they sell. Nobody want to be on the wrong side of making money. Money came first. It's the same reason why hip hop was sold out to the white industry.
It's immediately.
Because everybody cared about the money.
Right.
When we was selling hip hop out of our trunk and everybody was having fun, that's where it should have stayed. But niggas got thirsty for being rich and famous. And they sold it out like every other part of our culture got sold out.
Specific-
Music, dance, jazz. Hip hop ain't the only thing.
Yeah.
But I'm just showing
It's
you.
it's just the most vocal
Yes.
and easy. The only challenge I have.
Y'all can't be picking and choosing.
When
That
you
is
say
so
big-
disingenuous because y'all don't make no distinctions nowhere else.
When you say Big died at 24. We don't know where he would have.
I agree,
went.
but you still got
J-
to take at the material. I'm
but-
a big fan.
Yeah,
I'm not
I know
throwing
that.
Big out. I'm just saying,
But
our
specific-
greatest artist. There you go.
We specifically
There
when we
you
talk
go.
about Jay.
Our
Jay is
greatest
not
artist-
rapping about. He's not rapping about being losing 92 bricks no more. He's rapping about art and wishing he
Well,
would have made
he's
better
on his way to
choices.
60 now. But
I'm
his
just saying
first
that-
4 albums was about what?
But that was his access. That's where he was. If we're going to give them the room to grow,
But here we go. We're going back to the journalist argument. They're not reporting what they went through neutrally like a journalist. They are celebrating
into
and
it.
glorifying it. You understand? Look at all the rap beefs. They glorify and glamorize because conflict sells.
You benefit from your experience. And now I'm talking about you. You benefit from your experience, everything you've studied, everything you researched.
Yeah, but I'm from the ghetto too.
I'm not.
I could do what they did. I never gangbanged them, but I could talk about what I've seen.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not even challenging that. I'm just saying you sit here today, Harold. We're all excited and we're all appreciative and cherish the moment
So
we
you're
have
saying
with
they
you.
had to glamorize it?
I'm not saying they had to glamorize. I'm saying they made
Because Public Enemy
something
was from the hood, but Public Enemy chose to flip it.
right. But that's
And when
what
I
Chuck
look at
D
it, Big
decided
Daddy
to
Kane
do.
or Rakim, they was into the gangster shit, but they also had that other side of consciousness with them. I could deal with that because it was a balanced hip hop.
And a lot of niggas don't have that balance. That's why artists like Kendrick and Cole and Jay have such prestige, because they have that fucking balance.
The Big Daddy Kane, the KRS, it was a balanced hip hop. It's full tilt now.
I don't know if that I don't know if that's true based on just the level of music that everyone has access to. Right? If you have access to this much music.
Why defend it? I'm gonna give you the same argument I gave them about Drake not coming out telling everybody he black. Why defend it? And why not just make them accountable?
So why everything drill? Drill is a whole different conversation, bro. We're not even gonna get into that. Why I personally defend it? Because I agree with a lot of what Dr. Umar is saying. But here's the thing. I think hip hop should have those negative things in there. Like, art isn't always sunshine and, you know, rainbows and nice things. Art is dark. You know, art is raw. Art is sad. Art is depressing sometimes. Art is brutal. Art has murder in it. And the same things, the same parallels he's drawing with hip hop, he could draw with the movie industry. You know, a lot of people aren't marching to these Hollywood studios talking about there's too much killing, there's too much violence, right? I think the only difference with rap music is because it's majority us. And a lot of people are more influenced by it than movies. But the reason why this isn't art, this is genocide. This is what I'll say though. The reason why it's so negative is because the people who are controlling the music are the problem. I don't think it's the music itself. I think he was right in saying, you know, when people were selling music out the back of their trunks, it should have stayed there. I'm not saying it should have stayed there as far as like the level of success, but bro, we live in an age where direct to consumer is so important and so easy, so much more easy than it was in 2005, where you needed a record label to get on a radio, to get on MTV, BET. You needed a publisher to get your music in the music stores, FYE and Walmart and all that shit. Now you don't need that, but people are still signing to record labels that fuck them over and treat their music like nothing. The difference will only come when we stop depending on these outlets to push our music. Once everyone decides to say, you know what, fuck Apple, fuck Spotify, fuck Universal, fuck Sony, fuck all that shit, I'ma just sell my music by myself on my website. If Travis Scott, Drake, Kendrick, Jay-Z, J. Cole, Nicki Minaj, Ice Spice, Future, if all the top artists did that shit, and these labels were just worthless now, that's the only way shit is going to change. If hip-hop becomes completely independently run, then you'll stop seeing a lot of the bullshit, I feel like. But a lot of people use these outlets as crutches because, well, they have the keys. But fuck them keys, nigga. Fuck them fucking keys. If you just push that shit yourself, if everybody did it, because it can't just be like a few people. If everybody did this shit would be completely different.
I think because like I said earlier, I think the conversation is deeper, and we're going to need someone like you and other like-minded people that are going to be able to have that conversation.
Record labels are killing creative. They're killing creativity and they're killing artists too. and promoting their deaths and making money off their deaths. There's death clauses in contracts now. Fuck these labels, bro. I would never sign to a fucking label unless it was mostly beneficial to me.
Side of the white gaze.
I hear what you're saying.
Where because this is layered, right? The same issues we talk about just within the black community and how the mental struggles and the PTSD that you talk about, all of that, it's all prevalent
But
in
I
hip-hop.
don't think it's ever going to happen. You want to know why?
Oh, I agree with you.
Because the Jewish
I agree.
The
And
Jewish companies
they got
control the financial.
So it'll never happen.
Look at DMX.
I'm with you.
Nobody wants to be on the other side of not making money, and because of that, everybody's going to turn a blind eye.
Which means the grace needs
to
to
the
come.
degeneracy.
Which means the grace needs to come within. But like I said, it is one of the. It's almost a byproduct of being black and being in support
you
of
don't have
other
to
black
listen,
people. No, I'm not saying that.
The job of an artist is not just to describe; it is to project. An artist, even an artist that's doing art to show you the ghetto, they are still supposed to project it in such a way that shows people how this ghetto can be transformed into something it's currently not. Hip hop artists don't do that. They don't say this
Not
is what
enough
we're
of them.
living, but this is what we should be doing.
We're also
this
talking
is
about-
what we're going through, but let's take
We're
it
also
here.
talking
You
about-
only
we're
get a
also
handful who do that.
We're also
They're not progressive.
We're also talking
They're
about.
not progressive. And you know what? I would even accept it more if the music was one thing and then the person was a different thing. Like if they was promoting more positivity in their interviews and like shit like that, if they was really like putting their foot down, I would respect that too. If it's not the music, just at least let it be low key only Hove, bro. Only fucking Hove and like underground artists who aren't that big.
About 9 times out of 10, we're also talking about kids. We're talking about
I
young
give Kendrick
people
his flowers
who
too,
come
though.
straight from poverty into millions. There's that middle ground doesn't happen.
This podcast is brought to you by The Ride, Sellers.
Fuck all this
This one.
bullshit.
There's
Fuck that bullshit.
Your most popular rappers, 30 and
Skip
40,
that
still talking
meds.
gangster shit.
well, I mean,
Not really.
who?
Where y'all li-
We're talking about
What are you
successful
hearing
people.
here? What
We're,
are
we're
you-
talking about successful people.
Oh fuck. Fuck. My bad.
Talk about building institutions and saving kids? No.
That if that's not what they're
I
experiencing,
don't care how old they are. Why aren't the OGs checking them then?
because they want to be, and that's the problem.
Because the OGs aren't fucking respected by the youth, bro. Niggas ain't listening to Nas preach, bro. They should, but they don't, unfortunately.
That is
They
the
want a
problem.
piece of the money.
Right there, we just found the
What did
problem.
I
RP
just
Google.
say? We are idol worshipers.
But we can't hold the
Watch some
kids
shit make it
accountable
grow.
if no
I'm
one's
holding
guiding
the
them.
entire culture accountable for letting it go on.
Yes, we would have to
You
hold
see
it.
what I'm saying?
But that doesn't mean allowing the painting of the degeneracy to then say this represents hip hop. Because if that's
Is
because then
not hip hop primarily represented by gangster rap?
no.
Yes, it is.
No, I would disagree.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
I would
It is.
disagree.
Top 10 rappers of all time. Give
Mine,
me your top
my
five.
personal
Yours.
top, my personal top 5. It goes Jay-Z, it goes Rakim, it goes Andre 3000, Big, Kendrick.
Okay. 2 of those gangster, 2 of them not, and then 1 is kind of in the middle. You're still at 50% gangsterism. Is that acceptable?
Is it acceptable? Who's the gangster?
And that's just his personal top 10. Most people's top 10 include... Well, you know what? It don't even really matter.
Jay-Z was gangster shit.
But we've also seen him progress
You
out
said
of
Big,
it.
he-
You don't get to
Doesn't
progress.
matter.
You don't get to
Can I ask you a
progress.
question? Can I ask you a question?
Of
If I
course.
sold dope for 30 years,
Yeah.
and I gave it up and now I'm raising my kids,
Yeah.
am I off the hook for creating a whole generation of drug addicts?
What have you done to amend for it?
What has he done to amend for it?
He's openly giving money to underfunded communities.
Stop. How many schools has he built?
None.
Stop. How many hospitals has he built?
None.
Stop. How many banks has he built?
None.
How many supermarkets has he built?
None.
I don't care about nothing else you got to say. Relevant institutions,
In
bro.
that-
That's a fact, bro. Man. I have so much shit I can say about this, but I want the
Don't
video
give me
to
no
play.
handouts. Don't give me no charity.
In that case, are you any less useful or
Absolutely, because I got two
impactful to the
schools and
community.
one about to open. You damn
But
right.
if no one
Relevant
can, if no one can benefit from the school, what's the difference? As of right now, in this moment, if no one can benefit from said school,
It's a big
then
difference
how is it
because
different
even though
from?
the children can't go to the school right now, you're talking to a man who saved more black children from the school to prison pipeline than any black man ever walk in this country. So I'm still relevant. How
And
many
you
he
would-
saved from the school to prison pipeline?
Everyone he's employed.
How many people he employed? I bet you I saved more
From
than
Rock
him.
from Rock
How many
Nation
of
to
them?
Rockefeller.
But my point is, to whom much is given, much is received. I'm not a billionaire. He's a billionaire. You understand? So,
Facts.
to your point, you can't compare him to me because I'm not a billionaire. A billionaire gave out some charity. That's not enough. Billionaires should be building institutions, not giving out charity. And I like
Facts.
Jay, so this is not about Jay. We could talk about Tyler Perry, we could talk about Puff, we could talk about Serena, we could talk about Rihanna, we could talk about Tiger Woods, Bob Johnson, we could talk about any billionaire. We're just using Jay as the example. My point is, if you're a billionaire and you ain't built no institutions for black people, what are you really doing?
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, he's cooking right now, bro. He's absolutely fucking right.
That I'll give you.
He's absolutely. You can't argue against that.
That I'll give you. But I cannot.
And we can go bigger than that. We just sort of celebrated 50
Years of
years
hip-hop.
of hip hop. What has been the sum benefit to black people of 50 years of hip hop?
Nothing.
Outside of economic advancement,
What was the economic advancement of black America because of
it's
hip
our
hop?
business. It's their biggest export. Everybody in the black community.
I'm gonna ask you again.
Yes, sir.
How did black America benefit from 50 years of hip hop? And don't give me individual rappers. That's called tokenism and bourgeoisie.
I won't give I won't give you tokenism. I
How
will
have
give
we
you
benefited as a people from hip hop?
advancements in fashion.
How? Fashion? That's
No,
nothing.
you
Advancement in fashion?
I can't let you have that.
Fashion is
That
not
one I
fashion.
can't let you
We
have
don't
that.
control fashion. What are you
Anyone
talking
that's
about?
able to make money, any black person that's able to make a living in an industry,
Bro, how many is that? The labels that I
It's
people
way
wear
more
is
now.
white people.
Yeah, that's a trash example. And as someone who follows the fashion industry, you know how, or maybe you don't know, bro. These artists who collaborate with these fashion brands, like let's say like Travis Scott and Nike, or Tyler the Creator at Louis Vuitton, they'll be put in the position to create a little bit of this, sell a little bit of that, maybe add some colorways, maybe do a little bit of designing, but ownership will never really happen. You're never gonna see like Pharrell Williams is 40% owner of Louis Vuitton now. Never will fucking see that shit. You never see it. They'll bring people in to promote their shit. Facts, to promote. They'll bring Drake on to have the Drake 10s or the Drake 8s, and they'll sell fine, but you'll never see like Drake as a huge stakeholder in Nike. Never will fucking happen. So it's kind of like the same thing as label and artists. The same thing they do with that is the same way they move in fashion.
People labels.
It's way more.
And it's even worse in fashion, I would argue, because like the way that they get to our community is through those artists. They don't do shit for our community outside of that. Outside of having a Tyler the Creator representation, or Pharrell Williams representation, or Kanye or Drake or Travis, they'll have a black face promote for them, but further than that, they don't do shit for us. They do shit for their own, bro.
More now
is
than what was going on.
But that's not a real benefit.
I would disagree.
How
I
is
would
Black
disagree.
America benefiting from fashion?
They're
What
not.
we talking about?
Any advancement in fashion
How
for black
do we benefit
people.
from fashion, bro?
But those same companies just came out. What was the company that came out and they're boosting up their prices for bags by like thousands of dollars?
LVMH.
Yeah, that's not beneficial to black people.
Yeah.
And I used to work for LVMH, so I definitely know firsthand, not super firsthand, but I know how that shit like works, bro. Like just bro.
You're missing what I'm saying. When hip hop comes,
I've worked for Nike for 7 years, bro, and I know how like their help for the black community is so minuscule, bro. It's like, let's throw a basketball tournament. Let's give LeBron some money to open up a school. Like, LeBron opened up a school. Facts. I don't know if it was an all-black school, but he opened up a school. But that's so small compared to how much they've gained from us. Bro, we made Jordan brand poppin'. We made Nikes cool. We made tech suits cool. We made Air Force Ones cool. A lot of the reason why these companies are huge is because of how we looked when we wore that shit. So for whatever they give back to us, it's not going to be enough. Because we made them who they are for real.
Hip hop is an entire culture. Our fashion, the way we walk, the way we talk.
How is that a benefit to Black America?
Because now people who didn't have access to jobs in the fashion, black people specifically, who didn't have access to jobs before the explosion of hip hop, 50 years ago.
White companies.
I feel like jobs is important. It's important to be able to get in that door. Just as impactful it was for Michael Jackson to have Thriller played on MTV when there wasn't no black people on MTV. You feel me? That was like a small thing that trickled into a huge thing, and now you see black people on TV all the time, you know? You see that industry full of us now. So I will say the jobs in fashion matter, but what matters more is how it helps the people who aren't artists or designers, just the common people. Like, what has Nike done for New York, St. Louis? Like, how many institutions, how many people, how many lives are bettered from these companies? Not very many, bro. Yeah, they gave Virgil Abloh a lot. Sure. They gave Pharrell, they gave Kanye a lot. Sure. But nigga, what about the rest of the niggas in Chicago, Virginia? You feel me? Africa. What about them niggas? Nothing.
That make billions of dollars.
Forget the white companies. I'm talking about black-owned companies that have come.
Who? How many?
Fubu,
Carl
Kanai.
Kanai.
Fuck, bro. Shut up, bro. Shut the fuck up with that shit.
I'm getting out of here.
What?
What the fuck wearing Fubu and Carl Kanai?
Facts.
You said it fit. You're moving the goal. You're moving the goalpost.
Yes, they made billions of dollars off of us. Billions with a B, nigga. Billions of dollars off of us. So a little 100,000 here, a little million there. It's not changing anything. They continue to make millions and millions of dollars every day, bro. Every hour. They could be doing more, but they don't. And I don't know if it's because they don't want to or they don't think about it, but either way, it's just not getting done.
You're moving the goalpost. You said in 50 years.
Oh, come on.
You said in 50 years.
You reaching, bro. You reaching.
That's not true though. People
That is a reach. What?
You said in 50 years.
50
Also, if you're here, subscribe to the channel, like the stream, please hold me down, because I'm a black man and I'm trying to get successful.
years.
So
What
help
has
me.
transpired?
This
God damn
nigga
it.
went back to the late 80s.
No.
This is crazy.
No.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it
but,
is.
But it's not as obvious. It's not where it was before. But the advancement that those four men.
Boom, boom, boom.
So 50 years,
I'm
you
bravado.
had on a Fubu jacket and some Carl Kanai.
No,
And
listen.
for the billions that hip hop make, I'm supposed to be content with that.
I didn't
No,
say
no,
be
no.
content. You asked
You
a
asked
question
which
I
brands.
offered you.
Horrible
Yes.
answer. Give me something, a horrible answer.
Who decides
Horrible
war?
answer.
Who decides war? Literally having a line come out with H&M right now, and a black person owns that line. A black.
They own that line, but they don't own H&M. And not only do they own that line, this channel looking smelly. What the fuck? Fuck Jesse Lee Peterson, bro. First of all, they might own that line, but for one, they're not getting 100% profit off of that shit. For one, that's just already getting split down the middle, and I doubt they're even getting the majority of whatever that collection is worth. But they might own that collection, but they have no stake in the company itself, and that's where the problem is.
man.
But he's saying you're bringing up individual people. That's tokenism.
I said the
But I
benefit.
didn't-
Thank you.
No.
The
No.
benefit to the
Right.
community.
No.
There's
It's a community.
always tokens. Barack Obama was president. Kamala Harris was vice president. Clarence Thomas is on the Supreme Court. Don't give me individuals. How
I
did
gave
we
you-
win?
I gave you. How did we win? We're not gonna win. Hip hop is still looked at and regarded as a trash dump amongst white people in that music industry. So no, if you're looking for me to say, oh, hip hop in 50 years has made sure that black people now are respected. And no, that's never gonna happen.
What has it done for the people?
It gave you listen to hip hop music and you were inspired at some point, no?
Nigga, I'm leaving.
Hip hop has done a lot for us. Like hip hop as a whole, hip hop has put a lot of black people in position to do great things. You got Lupe Fiasco teaching in college. You got Jay-Z, you know, fucking. Well, I guess not much. I guess if you really extrapolate it, not much other than put people in position to get money. You know, it's what they do with their money is a different thing, but a lot of black and brown people have eaten off this culture, and it's not just artists, it's bloggers, it's journalists, it's dancers, it's distributors, it's A&Rs, it's managers, it's security. It's a lot of people who get fed off of hip hop, not just artists. So hip hop being bigger now than it's ever been is at least financially beneficial to a lot of people who otherwise wouldn't be.
We're moving. We're literally moving goalposts.
It ain't done shit in 50 years for the community.
It
made individuals rich, and that's it.
It then gave jobs to.
They gave a couple jobs. The drug dealer giving out a couple jobs too.
But the drug dealer is the drug dealer is essential.
That's also, Joey, that's also very important too. Hip hop has given us influence. Influence is so important, but I feel like most huge artists misuse their influence.
To the black community in the ghetto. You can't tell me that. Somebody grew up in the hood.
Hip hop ain't done shit concretely beneficial to the black community.
That's false.
Incorrect.
That's actually
false.
false.
Out of your mouth was fashion.
I gave you fashion and you started yelling over me.
What else?
But then also then there's technological advancement. Podcasting, for example. Look at all the black people that now have access to jobs and ways to make money due to that. We're still talking about rap. We're still talking about cinema. We're still talking about these camera operators, these new people coming up with new.
Let me make it real concrete for you.
I just made it concrete.
No, it wasn't. That was all bullshit.
No,
it wasn't bullshit.
Give me a relevant institution that hip hop built in any community, anywhere in America in 50 fucking years.
I just told you.
No, you didn't.
I just told you concrete. People that would not have access.
I didn't say individuals. I said an institution.
I said people.
Where's the bank of hip hop for the black community?
The definition.
I mean, it's not the biggest bank in the world, and I don't know if it's fully black owned, but Killer Mike did open up a bank, and I know it's just one fucking bank. But like, I feel like the problem is who's in charge of hip hop. That's the fucking problem, bro. That is the main problem, bro.
Of the word people means not an individual. So I'm telling you, people that now of 50 years ago would not have had access to work.
You're dealing in individualism. I ask you, what did they do for the community? You can't give me nothing because they ain't done shit
people
for
from
the
community can now work in a music industry that there was never going to be a space for them.
What the fuck? That's individualism. That ain't helping us.
It is,
That's
though.
bullshit.
No.
Bull fucking shit.
No.
It's not helping us.
No.
I feel like if you look at it that small, yeah. But think about like how many people were able to put their kids through college to be doctors or to be lawyers or to be, I don't know, anything. Marine biologists. Like, money made through hip hop does fund a lot of lives. A lot of lives, bro. Probably in the millions. So you can't just say like this shit hasn't been beneficial at all, because that's lies. Also, subscribe to the channel.
Oh, what's happening is virtual signaling. That's what's happening. Virtual signaling
ain't
happening.
done shit. A few people could get jobs. Everybody can say that shit. Elon Musk got a couple black people on the payroll. That don't mean shit.
Elon Musk didn't come from black. He's not a black person.
My point is, you can get a job from anywhere, whether they
But
black
now-
or not.
but now
That's
you're
not
getting a
unique
job.
benefit.
Now black
but
people-
you're still
Right.
talking about individualism, bro. A few people. You've been around for 50 years, the most popular music genre in the world, billions and billions of dollars, and all you can tell me about is a few people can get jobs? That's bullshit when you look at the cost that the black community has had to pay for hip-hop.
That's a good point. That's a
whole
really good point.
generation, 2-3 generations of black kids growing up thinking the best thing you can do is be a damn gangster.
I can't. That part I can't give you.
Shout out to
Does
the
hip hop need accountability? Absolutely. Does hip hop need a Me Too movement? Overall, do we need to have things in place that make sure we respect women and women are safe working in these spaces? Absolutely. But will I sit here and trash hip hop and say in 50 years it's done nothing for the advancement of black people? I've given you multiple. You just won't accept them. I can't control what you accept.
Jobs are not institutions. Jobs are not institutions.
A job is within an
institution that
I get what he's saying.
I give
Jobs are not institutions, but jobs do benefit people. People benefit from being able to pay their bills and have livelihood. That is a benefit. It's not the biggest benefit, but when you look at how many people hip hop employs, how many black people hip hop employs, from, like I said, from artists, from cameramen, from photographers, videographers, fucking stylists, managers, A&Rs, security, fucking police officers who have to, there's so many people eat and make money off of this industry that are black, that may not have been doing anything without it. So that's a benefit.
you, Master
Give me
P.
an institution.
Hip hop itself
What?
is an
That's
institution.
run by white people. What the fuck you talking about? Jews own that shit. Fuck is you saying? That ain't no institution.
Jews can't own
White people own that
Hairstylists.
Jews can own the music business. They can't own hip hop.
Look at this shit.
They can't own hip hop.
Let's cut the blade a little thinner bullshit. They run it.
Listen,
They run it.
listen.
They own this
The
shit.
Jews can sell the product. The Jews can own
God.
the money that goes out for advances. They can't own hip hop.
Go to law school. You would be a great attorney.
Who don't?
They tell you what to do and how to get there.
Who is telling you what to wear? Who is?
No, they're not telling you what to wear. I mean, sometimes actually, yeah, they are telling you what to wear, especially with women. Sex sells, dress more slutty. You feel me? Like, they're literally telling you what to wear sometimes, but they're also telling you this is what's kind of sells. This is the hot sound right now. Can you make a song like this, bro? When I was in the music industry, and I wasn't in the music industry very heavy. I was like a very, very small part of the music industry. But when I was in the music industry, I get emails all the time about, this is the type of song that you should make. Make a song like this. They'll literally send you examples of songs to make and be like, make some shit like this, so we could put this in this movie or in this show, or put this on this radio station because this is a sound that works. They tell you shit like that because they want you to sound a certain way, be a certain way, based off of not art, but based off of what's selling. They don't promote artists outside of, even how they bring artists into a label. It's very rare that someone gets signed out the blue because they're fucking talented and they can rap and they can produce. It's usually, you're popping already? You have a certain amount of followers on Instagram? Wow, you have traction? We could actually build upon this. It's never like, you're mad talented, let's put you. No, it's never fucking talent. It's all about marketing and numbers and what fucking sells. And that's the role that these labels play. They take what's already doing well and then flip on it.
You should stage your hip hop stations white people. Who own all the record labels? White people.
We are in America, which is owned by majority white people. We are statistically only represented by 13%.
Because you do know there's Asians in America, and their number is lower than yours, and they own their own shit.
Right.
So don't give me the fact
But
that
they also weren't brought over here and changed.
It don't matter, bro. We in $2 trillion people.
There's
Why
no
we
way.
can't have our own?
Dr. Umar.
Why hasn't
Dr.
hip-hop
Umar
done more independent?
There's no way you can continue to keep moving the goalposts like this. There's no
Nobody's
way we can.
moving the goalpost.
There's no
What
way
are you
we can.
talking about?
There's no way we can
You're
keep
not
talking
answering
about.
the question.
There's no way we can keep talking about PTSD the way you describe it, and then say.
I didn't see those TikToks.
You know, they
Let-
can't. You
you
have
know-
to
no.
acknowledge
Let me tell you what
every
the problem is.
racist
You know what the problem
entry
is?
into this country.
You are one of those hip hoppers who would rather. This is what you. No, you're one of them. Y'all going to defend hip hop.
I'm defending
No
the
matter
people.
how bad.
I'm defending the people.
No matter how negative its impact has been on our
He's
people,
not
y'all
proving
want to
his point at
defend
all.
it no matter what.
I'm going to defend
For
his people.
you,
Yeah.
hip hop is more important than the black community
Not at
itself.
all. Not
Sure
at all.
it is.
Not
Sure
at
it
all.
is. Sure it
Not
is.
at all. Not at
Sure
all.
it is.
I'm
So
one
then
of the.
what are you going to
you
do
say
to make
that,
these? What are you going to do to make them accountable to the community?
You would make such a statement, not knowing the work that I've already put in hip hop. No, there ain't no other black heterosexual man standing up the way I'm standing up from the hood, saying, "Yo, hip hop needs an overhaul. Hip hop needs a Me Too. Niggas need to be held accountable for the egregious crimes and ways they've held perpetuated against
Let me
women."
Let me ask you a question. Hip hop has done more, in my opinion, than any other single institution or system to destroy the public image of black men in America over the past 40 years. I'm not even.
That's kind of true, but it's also like it's true by. Now I'm gonna say it's true by default. It's true, but people who view us through the lens of hip hop are incorrect. And unfortunately, a lot of people do look at hip hop and then judge all of black people based off of that, and it does suck. But it's like they do judge us from it, but they're not right to judge us from it.
Sure, if American mainstream media has destroyed us more than the negative portrayal of black men in hip hop. Stay with me.
You just kicked.
Stay
You just
with
kicked
me.
an entire.
Stay
Go
with
ahead.
me.
Go ahead.
That's one. Number two, I'm not sure if American mainstream media has done more to objectify and sexualize the black woman more than our black men in the hip hop music, in the hip hop community. So you're talking about the public destruction of the black male image and the public destruction of the black female image. The only industry that may have done a worse job on our public image than
Worse.
hip hop has been the white man's mainstream media. Because of those two things, whatever bullshit benefit you want to give me that you think hip hop has given black America, those two detriments clearly outweigh any benefit you can make.
You said, and just so I know what I'm
public
referring to, you said
desecration
40.
of the black man's image.
I'm with you.
And
the public desecration of the black woman's image. All right.
Especially
And
young
you
black
said-
men and young black women.
And you specifically said
That's true.
past 40 years.
Yes, sir.
So then I would say 40 years ago. So let's go 41 years ago. What was the public image of the black
It
man
wasn't
and black
positive
woman?
at all.
So
But
how can we do?
However,
So-
here you go scapegoating again. You're good at it.
Oh,
but
man.
listen, you're very good at it.
That's low key a solid point though.
I'm
what?
I'm
In
no
the
better at
70s?
scapegoating than you are moving the
In the
goalposts.
70s, I ain't moved nothing. In the 70s, we just came out of Dr. King's assassination.
Yeah.
Integration was full swing. The colleges was opening up, right?
Yeah.
So at that time, the image of black men still negative because the white man never going to portray as great. But guess what?
But what was that image?
It wasn't gangbangers.
It wasn't.
It
was
wasn't
lazy.
gangbangers
It was
and drug
it was
dealers.
lazy opioid addicted.
Okay.
Non-working men that leave the household.
I got you. And how did hip hop help it?
They said, "Well, I'll take."
Yeah, everybody is going through shit, and I'm not trying to downplay what everyone else is going through, but this is just like this specific topic for right now.
Control of my own image. I won't let
And
you
project
paint me.
myself as what?
Whatever I decide to.
No,
whatever
no.
I
And
decide
what
to
was
paint
that?
me.
And
Whatever
what
I
was
decide
that?
to paint me.
And what was that?
What you're doing
Project
right now.
yourself as no. Finish.
I'm about to. What you're doing right now is a little bit of what white people do, and what that is saying that because a few people said, "Oh,
A few.
I'm
people.
a gangbanger."
A few people.
Well, yes.
A few rappers.
A few rappers. Because rappers.
Get the fuck out of here. Did he just say only a few?
How many
The
rappers
whole
are there?
fucking culture,
How
man.
many rappers
Be
are there?
honest if
How
we
many
gonna talk
rappers have
about
there been?
this shit.
How many
Be
famous?
honest,
How
man.
many
He
famous?
said a few.
Listen,
Fuck wrong
Doc, you know we could do this all day. I'm not gonna yell. I'm gonna wait for you to finish. Then I'm gonna re-ask my same
That you're
question.
Not being honest is insane. You said out of 40 years, a few rappers were gangster.
No. I'm saying you can say all rappers were gangsters. How many successful rappers were there? Were there more successful rappers than there are black men walking a regular, everyday civilian life?
Now he went to how many were successful. I don't get successful.
Are we
according
not
to who?
talking about the
Because
public?
Guess what?
Are we not talking about the public image?
Guess what?
Are we not talking about the public image?
Still ain't answer. You still ain't give him no institute.
Thank you.
I said hip hop is the institution.
Okay,
No,
that's fine,
that's owned by white people.
No, the
That's owned
music
by white
business is owned by.
All right. So to your institutions, big companies that are run by black men and women.
No, that hip hop. Let him answer.
What's this? All right, let's redefine
Okay.
institution. Let's do that right there.
Well, relevant. First of all, it's all black owned.
All black owned.
I'm not talking about the white man owning it and
Yes.
you in it, and that makes it black.
Okay.
No. Okay? They own McDonald's. You being in McDonald's don't make McDonald's black.
No.
Okay? Now, relevant institutions are schools, banks, hospitals, supermarkets, manufacturing, and distribution. In 50 years, has hip hop created any one of those anywhere in black America for black people?
Okay. So
Yes.
Yes or no first?
Hold on.
Yes.
So
The answer is
Answer
no.
my question.
The answer is
no.
Answer the
The answer is
fucking
no.
The answer is actually yes. There has been schools built by hip hop. There has been, well, at least one bank, maybe more, built by hip hop. There's been supermarkets built by artists. There's been a couple of those things, and granted, not as much as there should be. 100%, not as much as there should be, but you feel me? That comes with, I think, age and maturity. I don't think 22-year-old trap artist is thinking, let's build a bank, because he's surrounded by like-minded people he don't have Dr. Umar's around him or even Jay-Z's around him. You know, there's a lot of reasons why that is. And on top of that, a lot of rappers don't be getting a lot of money like they say they do. A lot of these niggas are broke. They make it look good on Instagram, but a lot of these niggas don't have anything.
Listen,
Hold
the
on,
answer.
no.
No, I'm gonna tell you. The answer is no, based on what he just asked you.
Exactly.
Right.
But
that's him
So now we
putting
can
you
know
in a
that. Now,
corner.
now
Exactly.
let's
That's
move the
why he's
goalpost
doing
a
it to
little
you
bit.
and won't do it
Now
over
let's
here.
move the goalpost a little bit to help y'all out with your weak ass argument. So they definitely didn't do none of the 5 relevance. Now give
Did you just use a fucking Big Daddy fucking Adam Sandler joke?
me something else that circumstantially relevant.
I wasn't
Institution.
asking if the. All right. I want to first off.
The hip hop don't matter.
Usually built
Is
a
what
whole
you're saying.
community.
Hold on. So Dr. Umar, you're saying hip hop don't matter.
Destroyed the whole image of black men and black women in 30 years. It matters a lot.
Hold on.
What other institution?
Institutions. So our companies,
guy, yo.
institutions. Our media
You
companies.
don't want to hold the
I'm holding.
degeneracy.
Our media
Dr. Umar,
companies,
me and you.
institutions.
Hold on, bro. I know it's just your. Hold
Our
on, bro.
media companies, institutions.
Completely black owned? Yes, if they putting out positive media, I will consider them. Positive media. Who is
Positive
that?
media is black owned.
Okay.
That is a good institution.
I don't know. Who is it? You got to tell me who you're talking about first.
There's no one. He's putting you into a corner. There's no one.
Did he own the revolt?
And that wasn't, according to him,
But-
that's not positive because it
But it's
celebrated.
not positive.
It celebrated hip hop and it's natural, so it's not positive.
So it's not positive.
So that's what I'm telling you. He's putting,
So it's
and
negative.
it was bad. And he also walked you in. You walked yourself in that corner because then you said Diddy. So that was crazy. I wouldn't. I never mentioned. I would have
No.
never said that at all.
No.
Does the community access revolt?
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, so much.
Is there hope for progression? I think the only way we'll progress is if we get away from mainstream media and record labels and distribution. If there was no more hip hop being put on Apple Music, then you would see changes. Once we start becoming more independent and stop relying on all those institutions to get money, then shit will change, I feel like. But who knows if or when that'll ever happen.
Community can watch revolt. I didn't say can they consume revolt. I said can they access revolt. Is that a community institution?
When you
or
say,
is that an institution of certain privileged black people in the entertainment space?
That's a fact too.
The community don't benefit from revolt. Fuck is he talking about?
Be more specific about the institutions once again.
No, because
Yes.
I was talking about.
Yeah, it's a fact. Like black people can benefit from a black-owned bank or black-owned supermarket or black-owned apartment complex or XYZ. They can't benefit from a black-owned media company or television station. I mean, sure, you can get a job there, but it's not like a school that you can enlist your children or enroll them into. You know what I mean? It's not the same type of thing. So he got a point there.
In the entertainment space,
What
that's
did
not,
I mean?
the
So what do you-
community don't benefit from revolt. What is
Spade,
he
get the
talking
fuck
about?
out of here.
Specific about the institutions once again.
No, because
Yes.
I was talking about, because here's the thing.
Institutions that benefit the community.
So here's the
Revolt is not a community institution. It's a
not.
private corporation that has access and benefits the black people who are fortunate enough to be.
If you think
Participants
if you think it's not important, I know you don't. So I'm not
I
even
said
disrespecting you by
relevant.
saying that. If you think it's irrelevant that black people in underserved communities today can turn on the TV and see people that look like them, that come from where they come from, on TV and
What
doing
the
things.
fuck? That's the
I
same
know,
argument
it don't
they
matter.
gave us when Barack
If you don't
Obama
think the
became
world
president.
has
Remember
been
that?
shaped in a major way by hip hop, then I can't help your perception blows. I mean, yes, the world has been shaped by hip hop, but I think, and I kind of agree with his point of subscribe to the channel, by the way, like the video, like the stream. I think the point is like, yeah, there aren't that many black owned institutions that came from hip hop that benefits people more than just monetarily. Like a black owned supermarket helps people more than just monetary. A school, a hospital, anything of that sort, like they help more than just giving people money. They're actually helping the community itself.
No,
They
because not
said
everybody can be a
black
president.
kids can see a black man with a black wife
No, it's-
in the White House.
it's completely
And you know
different.
what I said? I said, if that's the case, if Obama was such a good physical symbol for
Representation.
black kids, why did high school dropout go up during Obama's residency? Black on
Oh,
black
copy,
murder
copy,
went
copy,
up
my
on
fault.
Well, there's no such thing as
Not
black
a
on black murder.
single
You see what I'm saying?
Not a single positive statistic improved the outcomes
You
for
can't
black
play.
males
See,
during Barack
to
Obama.
win the argument, you can't play both sides. And I just seen.
I only play one side,
No.
and it's the
Hold
black
on.
side.
No. We talk about black. We talk about Pan Africans, but then you can't use white people virtue signals either. You can't
What are
talk
you talking about?
black on black violence goes
What are you
up
talking
when
about?
black on black violence is not
No,
a real
no,
crime
no.
stat.
I take
That's
your
not
argument.
that's not even a
You're
real
wrong.
crime
You're
stat.
completely wrong.
You just said
You're
it.
completely wrong.
I didn't
You're
hear it.
completely wrong. I gave you an example of the bullshit example you was about to make. You just
I
said,
didn't make any-
you
Go ahead,
listen.
go ahead.
You said they can see artists who look like them on the TV
I said
talking
people,
about
but
drugs
yes.
and guns
That's
and
not-
fat
that's
asses.
not what I said. You added that. You added that. I didn't say
you
that.
just said it was a good idea.
That's not what I
because
said.
black boys can see black men on
That's not-
TV with their pants sagging and their Timbs.
Once again-
talking about fat
Once
asses,
again-
blunts,
once
going
again-
to jail.
once again, you
and
playing
killing
vir- you
each
playing
other.
virtual
And
signal
so I
games.
said,
You
no,
playing
that's what
virtual
you said.
signal games.
Did
I didn't
you not say
that.
artists on TV?
No, I said.
Did you not say
no,
artists on-
I did not.
Yes,
No.
you did.
You can run the tape back. I said
You
if you don't
just
think
said
it's a
they
good
can see
idea.
them on TV.
I said if you don't think it's a good idea that black kids in underserved communities can look on TV
That's what I
and
just
media.
said.
I didn't because you didn't let me finish. And see black people. I didn't say artists. I didn't break it down to any specificity. I said can look on there and
But
see
we talking
black
about hip-hop,
people.
right?
In hip hop being
we
a
talking
culture,
about
I'm
hip-hop?
talking about hip hop, not rap. Rap is a specific
See
form of
the
hip hop.
games we play.
That's the game.
See the games we play.
You guys are both moving the goalposts.
I'm not moving shit.
What
I ain't moving
let me say
nothing.
it like this. Let me say it like this. So if
He
you know,
said rap, not hip hop.
Let me
Give
say
me
it-
the difference,
look,
please. Give me the difference.
hip hop is the overall culture which covers the 5 elements of hip hop, right?
familiar.
Okay, so we know that,
So
right?
what's the-
so now we know. So when I say they can look on there and see black
Okay,
people,
is rap a part of hip hop?
yes.
Okay.
But that will not be the only thing they see on TV to this day, and that is due in part to hip hop. Why? Because when
Which
are
of
you
the
guys-
5 elements
are you going to
dominates
let me
hip-hop?
finish?
Which of the 5
Dr.
elements
Umar?
dominate hip hop? Is not rap the most
It's
popular?
when-
element?
Let him finish.
When hip hop broke, everybody talks about 1986 being the golden year because you get Rakim and you get everybody and you get this new form of storytelling rap. From 1986 on, when we get to the 90s, when now hip hop is more than just the music and the
I'm
rap
awake
music. Now
now,
you're
woke.
looking on TV. You see black people from the hip hop culture on TV. Actors, you start seeing the VJ start to represent. You start seeing the media space start to represent what you're seeing in there. That is all a part of hip hop. When you're looking when you're looking at that black explosion of movies that's happening in theaters in the 90s, that is all due in part to hip hop's explosion.
That's true, but like it's not the same as opening up a hospital. Like, yeah, black artists and athletes and movie stars or whatever, they benefit for that. But it's not the same benefit as the community benefiting from a bank or benefiting from a hospital or benefiting from like a grocery store or a school or anything like that.
So no.
So like I understand what he's saying and I agree with what he's saying, but Dr. Umar's point is still like it still stands.
Not just the rappers. So no, not just the rappers. Again, no, not
We are
just
living
the
in
rappers.
a world being dominated by mass incarceration,
Facts.
miseducation,
Facts.
gentrification,
Facts.
police extermination,
Facts.
and economic marginalization.
Yep.
And you ain't told me shit yet
That hip hop doing it
has
because it
done
can't.
in 50
It can't.
bullshit.
That's
It
your
can.
job.
Bullshit.
That's your
No,
job.
no, that's so false. Why would he say that, bro? Why would he say hip hop can't do it? Hip hop can fucking do it, bro. The amount of money. It's like, bro, there's rappers walking around with $100,000, $200,000 chains on, but they can't open up a grocery store in their hood because grocery stores get opened up in the hood all the time. It just don't be opened up by us. You feel me? It be opened up by other people benefiting from the people who live in those communities. Hip hop can do it, bro. The money that hip hop generates often doesn't benefit the society or the culture or the community that black impoverished people live in.
You can't
y'all
put
can
that
just
on
keep
hip-hop.
talking bullshit.
You can't put
and
that on
making all
hip-hop.
this money.
No,
and
no,
not
no, no,
using
no, no.
none of you nigga who want to defend that shit. Fuck out of here, man.
All right, these people have 3,000 subscribers on their channel. So I feel like I could reach out to them, and there's a good chance that I could get in contact with one of these people. I would love to talk to Homie with the Braids. I didn't get his name. I would love to talk about Homie with the Braids about this shit.
Bullshit. Our kids out here dying. Fucking rappers don't do nothing for us. Where the fucking schools at, man? They ain't built one fucking school.
Name me one school that protected somebody from dying.
Well, Kanye
Name
did.
me a bulletproof school.
A school that, bro, what? That's so crazy, bro. That's so crazy. Name a school that protected someone from dying. Well, if you're in school and you're getting a certain type of education, maybe that'll stray you away from like the street life that niggas die in, bro. The reason why a lot of black neighborhoods are the way that they are is because the property taxes in the community that are funding the schools are very low. So we're not getting the best teachers, we're not getting the best up-to-date books, we're not getting the best resources, and those are the things that bring people from the school to the streets. If you're not getting the best education because of how schools are funded, you're more likely to fall into some shit like selling drugs or like obviously this is a very, very like big example. Like it's not the best example, but that happens. That fucking definitely happens. So if there was more better schools in the hood, chances of niggas doing hood shit in the hood will be lower because there's more institutions for us to do better. Crime happens in areas where poor people live, and they mentioned that before in this video. If crime happens more where poor people live because of the opportunities are scarce for us, yes, having better schools in the hood will stop people from getting killed. 100%. That was a crazy fucking take.
Our kids out here dying. Fucking rappers don't do nothing for us. Where the fucking schools at, man? They ain't built one fucking school.
Name me one school that protected somebody from dying.
Well, Kanye,
Name
that's
me a bulletproof
crazy.
school.
Where they schools
I
at?
don't want to know where
Bulletproof
bulletproof
school.
school
Half
is.
the black boys is dropping
Name
out.
me one.
Where the schools at?
What? How many
Where
black
the
schools?
at?
How many black schools
Where
in
the
America?
schools at?
That's fine. How many black schools in America?
Why you?
I'm asking you a
How many
question.
schools did the rappers?
How many black
Dr.
schools?
Umar is standing up.
Dr. Umar, how many black
How
schools?
many schools did the
Dr.
rappers?
Umar, how many black schools are in
Facts
America?
though.
Schools have rappers.
Doing hood shit in the hood, bro.
Zero.
If niggas had better, bro, I don't know where everybody in the chat is from, but I'm from what people would consider the hood. I'm from Jamaica, Queens, New York, bro. 50 from my hood, Nikki from my hood, bro. Growing up in school, niggas was selling weed, niggas had guns, niggas had knives, niggas was jumping niggas, there's fucking girls on the staircase. All this shit that happened because of how the school was run. And how the schools before were run. The middle schools, the elementary schools, the neighborhood, the family structure. All of these things fucking play a part in how development works. If I were in a better school where I didn't have to see niggas with guns, niggas on the drugs, like all this shit, if I was in a better school, I'm not gonna say me, because I was a lot different, but we smart, my G. That's what I was getting ready to say. I was a lot smarter to not fall into that shit, but a lot of people fell into that certain life because of what they seen in school, bro. When do niggas start gangbanging? When they like 12, 13, 14, 15, bro. That's the age niggas start banging. All this shit plays a part, bro.
Kanye built one.
You
Kanye
keep
built
trying to
one.
fuck it up. How many? I'm just really asking.
Let me make some shit up.
How many black schools are in America today? I know you know. Because it's a direct answer to your question. How many black? Okay,
I don't know what it means.
I will take it. All right, I don't need it. Let's take it out the way. Let's take it out the way. Let's take it out the way.
Listen, you don't plan on holding hip hop accountable for none of the problems it has introduced in the black community.
You keep saying that, and that's a lie.
And yeah, facts.
That's a lie.
The whole thing about kids not going to school, and obviously I don't have all the statistics on this, so I could just be super off the mark. But I feel like if schools had better teachers, if kids were able to look at teachers who look like them, who come from these communities, because a lot of the teachers that was teaching us drove back to their other communities after they got off of work. You feel me? They didn't live in the communities. The police that are policing in New York City live in fucking Long Island. They don't live in New York City. A lot of them. So that shit matters. When we have people from the community helping other people from the community, it's more likely that kids will do better than not, is all I'm saying.
Gangsta rap has played.
We can talk about the role. We can talk about the role, but let's not make the role bigger than what it is.
It is big. It is big.
I said let's not make it bigger than what it is.
Fatherless black boys. That
ain't hip hop. Fatherless black boys ain't hip hop. Stop.
Fatherless black boys ain't hip hop? Bro, that's crazy.
Stop doing that.
Black people.
Fatherless boys. There wasn't no hip hop in the 70s. That wasn't hip hop. So when niggas started walking out on their families, when men started walking out on their families, it wasn't because of no, that ain't it. So stop doing that.
Thank you.
There was no one promoting. There's no one promoting.
Hip hop glamorized that shit.
Walking out on your kids.
Sexual exploitation.
Walking out on your kids.
Ain't that the same thing?
In the 70s. In the 70s.
We went back to the 70s. Listen.
Yo.
Yes and no.
I love you, Doc.
I love you.
Doc, I love you. Like, I need you to know. I need you to know. I love you.
Hip hop glamorized sexual exploitation of black women.
Glamorized, popularized. I'll say it popularized it.
Yes.
Yes, the answer is yes.
No, it's not. Don't answer for me. My answer was it popularized.
But that's your answer.
Glamorized is different.
You better go to law school.
Your answer is yes.
Great.
What they call it, ethos, pathos, and
Listen, the more subscribers we get, the better the guests get. So please hit subscribe.
Skip.
You've been doing it for 14 years straight.
Right. On the national.
Nationally.
Subscribe to my channel, though.
14 years straight. And to be here still doing it. About to embark on your second journey with the schools opening up, and you know that there's another journey coming for you after that.
Yes, sir.
What keeps you still going?
Hip-hop,
This message is for all the
struggle.
entrepreneurs out there in Toronto, myself, people like me, people like Alex. Just send a message out to those people because you do embody that. What do you say to them?
Great point, brother. I like the way you brought that home. You know, central to Ifa cosmology and all African spirituality is this concept of positive and negative coexisting in order to bring about the fulfillment of destiny. So when a woman is giving birth to a child, the doctor tells her to push and then he tells her to contract, right? You don't get that baby without the positive, push, contract, pull in. Good and evil, light and dark. The opposites manifest in everything. I'm saying all that to say for an entrepreneur that you're going to go through as many bad times as you go through good times.
All right, so that conversation that they were just having is pretty much over now. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I appreciate y'all Tell me why Black Kid told me to shut the fuck up. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, y'all. I appreciate y'all so much for rocking with me. Subscribe to the channel if you want to continue, you know, having these live streams with your boy. I live stream pretty often now. So if you want to catch my next stream, go ahead and subscribe. And I'll fuck with y'all later. Appreciate you.